Guys, welcome back to the channel. Week 2 of the NFL season is right underway, right on the tracks. I will be giving you guys a video before the Thursday night football game. Chargers versus Bills. Going to be a very exciting one. Stay tuned for those predictions and previews for that. But this time around, guys, we have to talk about injuries. There's been a lot of injuries in week 1, game 1 of the NFL season, and big names have been getting hurt. I know a lot of people have been getting frustrated with their fantasy teams. I'm giving you a video about my fantasy football team. A lot of my peoples were injured as well. So let's get straight to it, guys. As always, subscribe and like this video to give you guys more context related to sports, NFL, football, basketball, everything that you may like. Let's go. So let's start with QBs. The number one big headline right now, guys, was Dak Prescott. He did get hurt during game 1 versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the third quarter. It seemed like he broke his hand. And today it was announced that he went through a successful thumb surgery, and that will put him out for at least 6 to 8 weeks, depending on the recovery for his thumb. At least he's not getting put on IR. Jerry Jones did announce that they will not put Dak Prescott on IR, which would have been a very bad look for the Dallas Cowboys. In my opinion, it would have kind of ended their season pretty early instead of kind of losing at the very end of the season, right? But that's another story for another video. He does have a chance to come back in within the next 6 weeks. It is projected that he may come back October 30th versus the Chicago Bears, or maybe even after the bye week against the Packers. But guys, we are hopeful for Dak Prescott, and luckily he did have a successful thumb surgery. Cooper Rush will be playing. He did take over for Dak Prescott once he did get hurt and left the third quarter. Cooper Rush did play the fourth quarter versus Tampa Bay Bucks, completing 13 passes for 64 yards. Now here's where some of the challenges do come in for the Dallas Cowboys. Build up any consistency versus any team. The Jacksonville Jaguars, the Raiders, anybody. Can he build consistency? Can he build trust? Front 7 is going to make sure the running game is non-existent, making sure Cooper Rush does throw the rock. That's going to be a very interesting scheme to see how everything does play out for the Dallas Cowboys. The second quarterback on the injury list, guys, is Mac Jones, quarterback for the New England Patriots. He did get hurt during the game versus the Dolphins, which they lost. But Mac Jones, guys, did sprain his back. He did have a back injury, but he did announce to the media today that he will be going to practice on Wednesday, and he should be ready to go to play this Sunday. So that's good news for Mr. Mac Jones. So the fantasy owners who have Mac Jones, pretty sure you guys were not happy with his week 1 performance. But week 2, guys, he should be available and starting as your QB. Now, heading into running backs, guys, the number one running back I do want to talk about right now is actually a running back I have in my fantasy league, Elijah Mitchell. He did sustain an MCL sprain, and it kind of looked worse than what it was on the highlights, guys. It kind of looked like he did tore something else, but luckily, I guess if you want to call it luck, he did sprain his MCL. He will be out for at least 8 weeks, a little bit more if anything, just to make sure he's good and healthy. A lot of rehab, a lot of resting. 2 months out without Elijah Mitchell. Jeff Wilson will be his backup. This does for the 49ers team, guys. It's the same thing that will be happening for the Dallas Cowboys. The front 7 will be pressuring the box, making rookie QB Trey Lance, forcing him to throw and challenging these DBs. And it's going to be kind of interesting to see how Trey Lance and the 49ers actually do respond without Elijah Mitchell out on their roster. But in my opinion, guys, if Trey Lance could throw the rock and he could use his actual feet as himself like he did in college. Remember, he's still a rookie. He's still developing. So we have to see how he plays everything out and to see if he could get the 49ers a couple of W's into the win column. The next running back, guys, on the list is Najee Harris, running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He did sustain a foot injury, and it did kind of take him out. But it does seem hopeful that he will come back to play in week 2. If you guys do have him in your fantasy, be aware that they might limit him regards to some of the snaps. But he should be on track to go back into week 2. Keep your alerts ready because you never know what could happen before game time. It will probably be a game time decision for Najee Harris. Wide receivers. One of the big ones, guys, is Chris Godwin. As you all know, he did have a lot of knee issues. They had to restructure one of his knees. And when he did get hurt this past week, a lot of people were scared that maybe this reconstructed knee got hurt, damaged, something bad must have happened. But no, if you want to call it luck, only hurt his hamstring. Which, guys, not for nothing, it's a little bit reassuring he didn't hurt that knee, right? because knees could really be career-ending injuries. It could really damage receivers. With the hamstring, guys, it does look very promising. It does not look likely that he may or may not play in week 2, but we still have to keep our eyes open just to see what will be going on and to see what time he will be missing. Now, it is speculated that he will miss some time. He will not play week 2, and he'll probably be a game time decision for week 3. But again, guys, keep your alerts open to see how Chris Godwin is reacting. The next wide receiver, guys, is Keenan Allen. He was playing lights out in the first half of the game, going 4 for 4 for 66 yards. But these hamstring injuries, guys, really do get to him. Keenan Allen is a very great lethal receiver when healthy, but he hurt his hamstring week 1. So that's another thing you guys have to be very worried about. And it does look like he may be able to play, but with a short notice and the Chargers playing the Buffalo Bills on Thursday, it does not seem likely that he will suit up to play against the Buffalo Bills. So it will be interesting just to see how the Chargers adapt their offense to be very lethal against the Buffalo Bills, but let's see how that one goes. Now, another receiver, guys, T. Higgins, wide receiver for the Cincinnati Bengals, got hurt. He did have a huge bump, landed on his head. Right now, he is a concussion protocol. He may miss this next week, but keep your eyes out open because since the signs are looking very promising, there is probably going to be a day-to-day or game time decision for him. And the last receiver, guys, Juju Smith, wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. He did play and finish the game in week 1, but he did come out in the injury report for week 2 with a shoulder injury, and that's something that has been lingering with him during the offseason. He did miss some time during the offseason, so that's another injury to keep your eyes out for. Tight ends. One big tight end, one big name in the NFL did not play week 1. Is there a chance he might play week 2? George Kittle. He did travel with his team, but he did not play or did not suit up for the game because of a groin injury. Now, that groin injury has been lingering since the offseason, but there is a chance that he will be a game time decision for week 2. It will help out the offense tremendously, and it will help out his QB since they will be lacking a running game, but he will probably be a game time decision if he doesn't play week 2. Most likely, he will sit up for week number 3. And the last injury, guys, I do want to mention, and in my opinion, it's one of the most saddest ones, TJ Watt. He was ripping up the Bengals week 1. When I say ripping up, demolishing offensive linemen, pushing running backs, breaking blocks, sacks, got a pick. He was doing everything right. He was probably going to be Defensive Player of the Year this year, the way he played in game 1. He was getting off a block, attempting to get a tackle to the defender down or the offensive lineman down, and it did seem like there was an injury. He was holding on to his chest. He did have a pectoral tear. That's one of those injuries where 2 things could happen. Get surgery and it's already season ending, or you could do rehab and it'll probably be 6 to 8 weeks depending on how the rehab is. But in my personal opinion, guys, if he does go the rehab route and he does play like he normally plays, there is a chance he could re-aggravate that injury, and that injury could get even worse as time passes. So he's right now, as time is, he is looking for a second opinion just to see what he could actually do. Obviously, he wants to play. The Steelers actually do need him on defense. So it's going to be intriguing to see how the Steelers defense is going to play a part in the next upcoming weeks. And if he does have that season-ending injury, see how the Steelers defense adapts without their star defensive player. Injuries do happen. Injuries is a huge part of the game. Injuries happen every single day. It happens all the time in high school, happens all the time in middle school, happens all the time in college. Injuries are something that is part of the game, but it's something we do not want to see, especially if one of your stars or up-and-coming stars are getting hurt, and it just kind of ruins the rhythm of these teams, ruins the rhythm of the defense and offense, special teams, you name it, guys. Injuries, I honestly don't want to make these videos, but it's informative for you guys to know and understand what's going on in the league, who's hurt, who's not hurt, who's playing, who's not playing. And if you guys are doing fantasy, stuff like this actually does help, and it just kind of helps everybody. So prayers out to everybody, speedy recoveries. So guys, that's basically Chris's injury report for week 2. I will be giving out a preview for Week 2, Thursday Night Football, Chargers versus Bills. Let me know your predictions down below in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Who's going to win? Remember, the Chargers do not have Keenan Allen, and the Buffalo Bills are steam rolling. So let's see how that goes. Guys, give me your predictions, game predictions, fantasy results. what type of videos you guys want me to continue on producing. Let's see how this goes. Let's keep the ball rolling. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys tomorrow. See you guys next week. See you guys Sunday. See you guys Thursday, Friday, every single day. Thank you guys. Like, subscribe. Peace.